Mate, Chelsea's Brazilian contingent is cooking. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And you know what? Normally, I am so annoyed by international breaks, man. Normally, I'm just like, we've just had 3 games of Premier League football, and now we've got to wait 2 weeks for it all to come back. And, you know, it feels like a bit of a slog. But I'm not going to lie to you. This year in particular, for 2 reasons, I am actually really enjoying this international break at the moment. First reason being that transfer window was absolute madness, and it being my first season as a YouTuber, if you will, it was really, really intense, right? So just to get to take a little break from it in itself is great. But the other thing is there are lots of really exciting Chelsea players to watch playing with their countries at the moment, and we are going to talk about some of them today. But guys, before we go any further, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so where else do we start, right? We go straight to Brazil, because we had 3 players playing for Brazil last night, and all of them, for different reasons, did absolutely amazingly, and it's really, really, really promising. So, Estevão Willian, the 18-year-old wonder kid who's taking over the world, and if anyone outside of Chelsea fans weren't sure about him up until this moment, they probably are right now. Estevão scored an unbelievable bicycle kick against Chile in last night's game, Brazil-Chile. He was along 2 other Brazilian Chelsea players starting in João Pedro and Andrey Santos, and all of them had a good game, but Estevão Willian in particular looked amazing. What an absolute boon to his confidence that he's being picked by Carlo Ancelotti this early in his career. So I can't remember exactly what it was. He's not the youngest goal scorer to ever score for Brazil in a competitive match, but he has joined a list of like 7 or 8 footballers who did it, and he's managed to do it 55 days before Neymar did. So already, Estevão Willian's finding himself in elite company, and it's so easy to see why, man. Even just apart from the goal, looking at his general play throughout the game, like, if I'm being completely honest, he looked freer and more confident for Brazil yesterday than he has done in a Chelsea shirt so far. That makes sense. It's his home, right? Obviously, he didn't play in Brazil, but he's with his boys at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? That culture's there, that togetherness, that brotherly love. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, a couple of his club mates were there as well, but he obviously will have felt really, really comfortable in that game yesterday. Completely makes sense. And it showed, man. He was just taking the ball and driving at the defence, trying to make things happen. Some really nice inward kind of cutting crosses and stuff, like all sorts of stuff, man. He just looked like an absolute nuisance for Chile yesterday. And he's 18 years old. Mate, it's absolutely mad, isn't it? Like I've raised this in one of my other videos the other day. We talk a lot about Tyreek George at the moment, right, and how he deserves a chance in the Chelsea shirt and stuff. And players like Estevão Willian, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a shot, but players like Estevão Willian really put it into perspective. This is what the right 18-year-old, 19-year-old can achieve if he's got the confidence. It's not even always about the skill level. Tyreek George is a skillful footballer, that is without a doubt. But having the confidence to try these kind of things on the pitch is just something you can't really teach. Do you know what I mean? So Estevão obviously booked his spot in the Brazil team and is constantly booking further spots in that Chelsea first team. So let's talk about the goal, right? The goal itself was interesting for there's a couple of reasons. So the first one, it was lovely, right? We love a bicycle kick because of the confidence, the absolute sheer audacity to try it in the first place. An 18-year-old in an international World Cup qualifier, like, mate, that in itself is something special. But the other thing that's interesting about it is something else that he's actually done before. So Estevão got his first goal for Chelsea in the Bayer Leverkusen game in the preseason, right? And that goal was, I think Moisés Caicedo took a shot and it like ricocheted off of a player or the post. I can't exactly remember, but Estevão was right there in that moment, paying attention to what was going on, and he put the goal in the back of the net, right? And that shows that his awareness is there, his composure is there. It's more than just flashy goals and wicked dribbling and whatever. He is there in the moment when it counts, with his eye on the ball, ready to make something happen. That's really, really, really important, because it's those kind of goals, not that just will win games, they win leagues, right? That ability to take advantage of a situation that's gotten a bit out of control and people aren't sure what's going on, and just dive in and get it in. That's really, really important. And he did the same thing yesterday. The goal came from a shot from João Pedro that ricocheted off, and he was literally like standing on the goal line and he just like rifled it in with the bicycle kick. It was stunning. But like I say, for me, aside from it being just a wicked goal, it shows that level of maturity, right? To not lose his head in a really important moment. And that's twice he's done it now in the last month or so. Do you know what I mean? Since preseason. So I think that's a really, really, really important part of why we should be excited about Estevão Willian. It's not just the tricks and the flary dribbling and the amazing passes and stuff. It's the killer instinct to be able to get the ball in the back of the net in a difficult moment when it matters. So we'll move on from Estevão Willian, although I literally could wax lyrical about him all day. We'll talk about João Pedro and Andrey Santos a little bit. João Pedro had a really good game, right? Slightly concerning thing I'll get to in a minute, but ultimately his play throughout the game was really good. And to be chosen as Brazil's number 9, like, mate, what's that about? That is absolutely wicked. Brazil haven't had amazing number 9s for a while now, but at the end of the day, being chosen for Brazil's first team is amazing in itself, and to be Brazil's chosen number 9 is absolutely awesome, and to have that guy in the Chelsea squad is wicked. He played his number 9 role really well. He was getting on the end of balls and trying to shoot and make things happen, but he was also dropping deep a lot and trying to facilitate. Classic João Pedro. And I say classic, like we've only had him for a little while and we've only just started seeing what he can do. But already it really links together with how we've seen him play in the Chelsea team. And he looks like he's just going to go from strength to strength. He was unlucky not to score a couple of times in that game, to be fair. He did really well. The concerning thing was he was going into the box for something and he kind of clattered Gabriel Martinelli, who was playing on the Brazil team at the same time, and they both went down, and João Pedro vomited right onto the floor, man. I saw it in a replay and I was like, whoa, mate, okay. He has since come out telling everyone that he's fine. It's always concerning when something like that happens to a footballer. Obviously, they just go so much, do you know what I mean? And there's so much adrenaline and so much going on with their bodies and stuff. Do you remember we used to see it from Lionel Messi quite a lot? Lionel Messi was always just like having a little chunder on the pitch, wasn't he? He loved a little pitch chunder, did our Lionel Messi. So, you know, not in isolation, one time, not particularly concerning, but something to watch out for, just to make sure that the guy's all right. Do you know what I mean? It would be, you know, some sort of indication that there might be something wrong inside his body if he keeps throwing up on the pitch, but it might just have been a momentary thing. We'll have to wait and see. So moving on to Andrey Santos. Andrey Santos had a good game, 90% passing accuracy, man, 90% passing accuracy. We need a bit of that in the Chelsea squad. We've got really, really good midfielders, but no, I had a little look at the passing accuracies of everyone a little while ago. Not many people are cracking like 83, 84%, and that 5-6% to get you into that 90% is a big, big difference. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like if you make 10 passes, you only miss one of them. That's really, really good. Andrey Santos isn't necessarily expected to be a regular Chelsea first teamer. I imagine he's going to see a lot of game time, what with injuries and match fixture stack-ups and, do you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. But either way, he's getting chosen, even despite not playing in the first team all the time. He's getting chosen for these games as well. That's really promising. Andrey Santos looks like a wicked player. We will sidle away from Brazil for a little while, even though so much has been going on there, and we will look at the two other players, one that featured, one that didn't last night. We'll start with Marc Cucurella, who played for Spain and was just doing Marc Cucurella things, right? He was getting in the midfield and he scored a wicked goal. I love the fact that Marc Cucurella has turned into a bit of a goal scorer. 7 goals for us last season. It's just so important, and the fact he can do it for his country as well is huge, man, because that means it's not just a thing that he's being told to do by his manager. It's something instinctual for him, and it means that he's always going to be looking to be part of the attack when he's allowed to have that kind of position. I absolutely love Marc Cucurella, and I guess other than Nuno Mendes for PSG, you could argue that Marc Cucurella is like the best left back in the world, man. As far as is he even really a left back at this point? It's just crazy, isn't it? Like, you start him at left back, but he can do absolutely anything, and it's so obvious why Enzo Maresca will love that. So we'll move on to Caicedo. Caicedo missed the game against Paraguay yesterday and was precautionally taken out of the squad. I really appreciate that. Supposedly he's supposed to be back for the Argentina game that's coming up, but I don't know, man. Just watching all of our players drop at the moment, and he had a little bit of a moment in the last game, Caicedo, as well, didn't he? Now, the thing is, I've said this before, when Caicedo gets tackled or goes down, it always looks like the end of the world, and it always looks like he's torn his ACL or broken something, and it's always a bit like, he is quite a dramatic guy when it comes to those moments, which is a little bit worrying in itself, but he's being precautionally taken out of games, right? So that means he felt something. So hopefully, I don't know what the agreements are between clubs and international teams, do you know what I mean? There's another thing I'll get onto that I'm a little bit worried about in a minute about another player as well, but Hopefully Caicedo is all right. If he does play the Argentina game, I'm sure that means he's okay. He obviously just played for us against Fulham and hadn't trained that entire week beforehand as well. Do you know what I mean? The day before the Fulham game was the first time he trained in an entire week. So Caicedo's been feeling something and he's played a lot of football. Do you know what I mean? So he's not getting these international breaks as rest because he's still training with the team all the time and potentially still playing games. Little bit of a worry. Fortunately, we've got lots of really good midfielders now. So depending on what happens, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see Caicedo miss our next game against Brentford when the Premier League kicks off again. But we will have to see what happens. Either way, you know, Caicedo, it's not about how he played because he didn't play, do you know what I mean? But ultimately, it's just wanting him to be okay. And I just really, really, really hope that Ecuador don't put him on if he doesn't need to go on, do you know what I mean? If maybe we can be super precautious with him, do you know what I mean? We just want him back in the Chelsea squad, wrapped in cotton wool, don't we? So that's it for the players that have played, but I just want to talk about the England game against Andorra tomorrow night and the only Chelsea player who's made it into the England squad this time in Reece James. So I'm worried. I'm not going to lie, and I'll tell you why I'm worried. So the reason that I am worried is Thomas Tuchel. As much as I like him as the England manager, and I know he hasn't really proven that yet, I think he's still taking some time figuring stuff out, and some of his choices and decisions have been a bit weird. But I back Thomas Tuchel to win a tournament because I've seen him do it before, and he's a great man manager. He obviously really likes Reece James. Trent Alexander-Arnold hasn't been called up, and as far as I'm aware, that's not because he's injured, so that probably just means he doesn't fit the profile of what Tuchel wants in that spot. And I think Reece James really does. So I do think Reece James is going to play. Now, normally I'd be like, wicked, love to see Reece James playing for England. But the thing that I'm concerned about is there was a conversation when Tuchel joined England, right, about Reece James's position. And obviously Maresca had taken to playing him as a centre midfielder a lot of the times. You know, we do that thing. We put Malagusto at right back. We put Reece James as centre midfield. And the only thing I'm concerned about is Tuchel literally came out and said Reece James, isn't a midfielder. He's a right back. And in Tuchel's world, what that means is Reece James is bombing up and down the side of a back three, running a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I don't think Tuchel's just going to put Reece James into a position where he's going to have to change his position that he's been playing and play a position that maybe risk, all of the good work we've done with his rehabilitation. Obviously, Reece James has not been playing that archetypal, bomby, up and down right back for quite a long time now. Since Maresca's come in especially, he's either been kind of a right-handed centre-back right-sided centre-back, right-handed centre-back, right-sided centre-back, playing in midfield, or playing right-back but kind of inverting into midfield and getting up a little bit but not bombing up and down the wings. Do you know what I mean? So I am only slightly concerned that if Tuchel is like, right, Reece, I want you to bomb up and down the wings because I know you can do that because we won a Champions League together with you doing that and it was awesome. I worry about potential injuries, and I guess maybe I wouldn't be quite so worried if we hadn't just seen, Levi Colwill and Cole Palmer, and Tosin was withdrawn for that game as well, wasn't he? And it's all a bit like, oh dear, what's going on? Players are dropping like flies. Do you know what I mean? There's, Bukayo Saka still isn't back for Arsenal. Gabriel got injured. Ryan Cherky got injured for Man City. Players are dropping like flies at the moment, regardless of how old they are. Do you know what I mean? So, Reece James isn't old by any stretch, and, he's got a lot in him, but he's got massive injury history, huge injury history. And I'm a little bit concerned that Thomas Tuchel might accidentally undo all of the good work that Chelsea have done in Reece James's rehabilitation. Now, we'll see what happens, man. Do you know what I mean? Maybe actually Thomas Tuchel's going to play Reece James on the right side of a back three or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And isn't just going to go straight back to the bomb up and down the wing because you can do it and, you're a great attacking player sort of thing. So we'll have to see how that goes. Either way, I will be happy to see Reece James in the lineup if he makes it, but I am just concerned stylistically that even if he doesn't get injured in the game, just playing like that for a prolonged period of time might cause him some issues. I don't know really anything about medical stuff, right? So you can call me out in the comments if I'm absolutely wrong about this. Tell me what you think, man. Is it a risk putting Reece James in a Thomas Tuchel team, bearing in mind how they won the Champions League together before? I'd love to know what you think. And that is it, guys. So we are international break, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm enjoying it. I took a rare day off the other day. I am working on a lot of other stuff as well. I've just been verified, sort of. I am officially part of the YouTube partner program. Thanks so much to all of you, you bunch of legends. I have hit the 500 subs and 3,000 public watch hours in order to get into the YouTube partner program. I've already tested out the chat thing that is available now for content creators if there's any issues or stuff. That worked really well. The lady I spoke to was really, really nice, and it just feels it's just such a relief, right? It's just such a relief to feel like, oh, okay, if something goes wrong or I have a problem, I'm not just tweeting them on Twitter anymore, or I don't, it's not Twitter, it's X, let's not get into that. But ultimately, I've got a direct point of contact if I need any help, if something goes wrong. And it means that very soon I'm allowed to start leveling up my channel, right? Obviously, the goal for right now absolutely is still 1,000 subs. So guys, if you are not subscribed and you're watching this video, you enjoy the content, you want to see more, click that button. It means the absolute world to me. And it's such an easy thing to do, man. At the end of the day, if you like the content, click the button, hit the bell, do whatever, man. Get involved in the chat. Let's have a good time. And breathe. Getting a little bit excited about it all. Right, okay, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up there. I will be watching the England-Andorra game tomorrow night, so I might even do a live stream, you know. I might even do a little live stream. If you're watching this video and you fancy getting involved in a little watch-along for the England-Andorra game, let me know in the comments, man, and if I get enough people, I'll just do it, because I had a good time last time I did a live stream on transfer deadline day, and I would like to see if anyone wants to come along and chat with me about Chelsea whilst we watch the England game. Nice one, guys. Hope you're having an absolutely wicked day. I'll catch up with you all very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.